Fall camp is rolling in Columbus, Ohio. It's a wonderful thing. College football is back. Fall camp is back. Fall camp is definitely back for the Buckeyes. It's a big quarterback battle. We've talked about it a lot, really, since the confetti dropped in Atlanta and Ohio State won the national championship. Who's the next guy? Feels like it's going to be Julian Sayin. But Lincoln Kienholz now just hanging around in that battle. And the more that you talk to people that are close to the Ohio State quarterback battle, the more they will tell you, like, no, Lincoln Kienholz is in this thing. I know everybody wants to talk about Julian Sayin, and he's the fun name that gets thrown out there. He's the 5-star, but like Lincoln Kienholz now, he's going to factor in. That leads me to believe it wouldn't be all that crazy if Lincoln Kienholz did end up winning this quarterback battle and was your guy game one for Ohio State. But even with that being said, we'll give you our prediction probably at a future show. We've given you our prediction before as it was going into spring practice, but I just want to have an open conversation right now about how I'm viewing this quarterback battle, because Ryan Day addressed the media after the first fall camp practice, and obviously one of the first questions he gets is about the quarterback battle and what it's going to take. And one thing he said stuck out to me. He said, it's going to take command. I want to see command of the offense. The way that I'm interpreting that, you're talking about command. I don't see command during a drill. I don't really see command when we're up there on the whiteboard. I don't really see command when we're going through 7-on-7. You could get a flavor for it. Maybe you spot it at times, but I see command at the quarterback position. If I'm Ryan Day, when we go 11-on-11, we spot the ball, we have a full-on scrimmage. When Caleb Downs is on the other side of the football, and I got C.J. Hicks off the edge and Bo Atkinson off the edge, that's where I see who you are when it comes to command of the offense. When the bullets are as live as they can be, when our quarterback's wearing a non-contact jersey, that's where I see command. So I say all that to get to this point. If you're tracking the quarterback battle and you're trying to determine who has the lead or who's going to be the guy before Texas, get a membership at Letterman Row, watch this show, and stay as dialed in as possible to what's happening each and every scrimmage. Because I think that's where you really get to separate yourself. Nobody's questioning, does Julian Sayin have the arm talent? No one's questioning if Lincoln Kienholz is a freak athlete. We're questioning, okay, when we actually put the ball down and play the sport that we're going to play here for the better part of 14 weeks and beyond that for Ohio State, what do you have at quarterback? How do you command the offense? How do you move the football? Other thing Ryan Day said, he highlighted the nuances being important in this quarterback battle, which I don't think is all that surprising when you hear it actually said out loud, but I think it kind of goes under the radar at times when you try to break down a quarterback battle. He said, Will Howard, some of the best stuff he did for us a year ago was when he would throw the football away on third down, when he'd get us out of a bad play, when he would get back to the line of scrimmage and get a no-gain situation instead of taking a sack. Like those little things that, as Ryan Day puts it, keeps the offense moving. My question is Julian Sayin far enough along in that area of his game? And I'm purely asking that as an open-ended question because I don't know. I don't have the answer. But if you're doing the math here, Lincoln Kienholz been in college longer, been a college football player longer. So you would assume when it comes to nuances, you, again, by length of time in the program, playing college football, Lincoln Kienholz potentially should be ahead in those areas. So from Julian Sayin, it's amazing that you have this rocket for an arm and you were billed as the most accurate passer in your cycle and all that. Like, that's phenomenal. But like, are you good enough in the little things that keep us from not picking up that crucial first down on 3rd and 4? Because I think it's important to have an open discussion about the floor as well as the ceiling. Because Ohio State's roster is too good to play someone who's going to crash the Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like, you got an embarrassment of riches on this offense, especially in the receiving corps. If we have a guy who is going to be great one day and less than great the next day and be bad one day, like it's hard for us as a coaching staff to then trust you to have the keys to the offense when we go out there and play Texas in week 1. Because I need to know some consistency of what I'm going to get here throughout the course of the season. And that's one thing that I think is interesting about this battle. Julian Sayin seems to have a lot more of those wow moments. Like, you hear that from the intel. I think you saw that at points during the spring game when that was on TV. But the guy who's apparently the most consistent based on what we're being told is Lincoln Kienholz from day to day. Like, maybe not the wow throws as much as Julian Sayin, but you get a lot of consistency from that guy. That's kind of what he brings to the table. So, again, for Julian Sayin, are you consistent enough at one level? And then 2, just in the nuances, are you able to keep us on script and keep from that big mistake that's going to ultimately keep us from accomplishing our goals of winning the Big Ten, beating Michigan, and all those things? So I think even as I say all that, I still feel like right now, Julian Sayin to me just makes the most sense if he is in the ballpark of what he's advertised to be. Because you look at this roster, you don't have Trevian Henderson or Quinshon Judkins back there running the football for you. I think C.J. Donaldson's going to be good. I think James Peoples going to be good. Is it going to be your fastball? Is it going to be what it was a year ago? I have a hard time believing that. The fastball this year is Jeremiah Smith. It's Mylan Graham, Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis. I even hesitate to go through all the names because every time I miss a name, y'all are like, what about this guy? It's like, we don't have 3 hours to do this segment and talk about the Ohio State receiver room. They're really good. They're the best in America. With that being the case, you play the quarterback who can consistently, keyword there, and most effectively, other keyword there, get them the football. By nature of the skill set, to me that sounds like it's Julian Sayin if he continues to be progressing in that consistent department for him personally. Because the arm talent, there's no question about that. And so I think there's a certain level of disservice you do to your roster, to your football team, if you're not playing the guy that gets the football to those guys the best. Now, again, if there's mistakes, then that resets this whole discussion. I think even with that being said around Julian Sayin right now being the pick for me at least to win the starting job, Lincoln Kienholz needs to have a role. Needs to. If you got some free time before the season gets rolling, go just YouTube Lincoln Kienholz basketball highlights. He's a freakish athlete. Like throwing down windmill dunks, might even have a 360 in there, like doing stuff that most human beings never even considered doing. He's doing it as a high school student, and now he's probably doing it as a college student. But the point remains here, I think with how special of an athlete he is, him having a role would make a lot of sense to me, especially in a conference in the Big Ten where, let's be real, a lot of these games come down to what, third and short, third and goal, fourth and goal, like the margins of a football game where you picking up a first down to put the game on ice or to get you in field goal range or whatever that looks like, having a package in there where you can give the ball to one of the best athletes on your team with an extra blocker with your quarterback being the ball carrier, I like that a lot, carrying that week to week in the game plan for Brian Hartline. So that would be my take there. But at the end of the day, whether it's Kienholz, whether it's Sayin, you're going to have to go take this job. It's not one of the situations where we kind of think we know who it's going to be, or like Georgia's a great example. Gunnar Stockton, he would have to lose that job for him to not be the guy at Georgia game one. There's nobody at Ohio State who has to just not lose the job. I think both dudes have to go actually take it by the throat and make it their job with command, with consistency, with nuances, with the wow plays, all that mixed together to ultimately be the guy to win this job before week one. Would expect us, if we're using history as our guide here, to get an announcement from Ryan Day on the starting quarterback like mid-August. It's what he did, I believe, with Justin Fields, with C.J. Stroud, and we all knew those guys were going to be the guy anyway, but I think mid-August is right when I would expect it. So on the clock now, right around 2 weeks for Ohio State before you would start to say, okay, we're getting a starter here anytime soon, 3 weeks max, but I can't wait for it. Football's back. Ohio State fans, let me know in the comment section who's your pick to be your starter game one when Texas rolls into the shoe. Caden Smith on the ones and twos. Myself, JD PicKell. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We'll keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.